Hello everyone, my name is Chandra Prakash Bhaguna and today I want to discuss an interview in a company called Bigionic Technology and Marketing Solutions, and the company location is Hyderabad and the interview date was May 28, 2025. So this is the second round of the interview. First round of the interview I have already discussed. So they asked me what Laravel version are we using now. So it's Laravel 12. So ensure your system is running PHP 8.2 or higher. Second question, what new feature came in the latest Laravel version? So the first is the new starter kits. Replace Bridge and Jetstream. Modern frontend with the React Vue or Livewire. Built with the Tailwind CSS plus TypeScript. Second, cleaner project structure. More organized folders, easier to manage large apps. Third, better commands. Create model migration controller in one command. Example, PHP artisan make all post. Fourth, smarter queries. Easier handling of complex queries with nested where. More readable and efficient database code. Fifth, stronger security. New secure validate for better password and input security. 6. Improve API support. Easier API versioning, custom rate limits per user, per IP, etc. Better API docs, Postman, Swagger. 7th, faster testing and debugging. New test helpers, best error messages, and easier to write tests. 8th, eloquent ORM boosts. Easier relationship handling, custom cast for model attributes, and better eager loading. 9th, queue and job improvement, better job batching, job priorities, and works great with the Redis, SQS, etc. 10th, DevOps friendly, better Docker support, CI/CD integration like GitHub Action, and infrastructure as code support. 11. Artisan upgrades, more powerful custom commands, better input handling in CLI. So requirement is need PHP 8.2 plus and Laravel 12 is stable development friendly update. Okay, so top new feature in Laravel 12, new starter kits, cleaner project support, better commands, smarter queries, stronger security, improve API support, faster testing and debugging, eloquent ORM boosts, queues and job improvement, DevOps friendly, artisan upgrades. Third, what are get, post, put, patch, delete requests? So get request. A get request is one of the most commonly used HTTP methods used to retrieve data from a server via the API, that is the application programming language. When a client like Postman, a browser, or a front-end application sends a GET request to an API endpoint, it asks the server to return specific resources or information such as user detail, product lists, or settings. So GET requests are read-only operations and do not modify any data or server. Post request. A post request is used to send data to an API to create something new on the server. For example, you use post to add a new user, submit a form, or upload a file. Third, put request. A put request is used to update existing data on the server. It usually replaces the entire resource with new data. Fourth, patch request. A patch request is used to partially update existing data on the server. Unlike put, it only changes the specific fields you send. Fifth, delete request. A delete request is used to remove data from the server. It deletes a specific resource like a user or a record permanently. Question number 4, what are the data types in PHP? So answer, PHP supports 8 primarily data types which are categorized into scalar, compound, and special types. So scalar types, first integer, whole numbers positive or negative without a decimal point. Second, float or double, number with an decimal point or in exponential form. Example 3.14 minus 0.98 1.2 E3. Third, string, a sequence of character enclosed in quotes. Example hello words. Fourth, boolean, represent two possible values, true or false. Compound types. Fifth, array, a collection of values indexed by number or strings. Example, array 1, 2, 3. Name John, age 30. Sixth, object, an instance of class containing data, properties and functions. Method. Example, PHP class car, public $color, object new car. Special types, that is null, a variable with no value assigned to or explicitly set to null. 8. Resource, a special type holding in reference to an external resource like a database connection or file connection. For example, $handle fopen file.txt. So total we have 8 types of data type in PHP. These are integer, float, string, boolean, arrays, object, null and resource. So additionally notes, PHP is loosely typed, so variable do not require explicit data type declaration. Use get type to check a variable's data type. Use var dump for detailed info including types and value. What is the difference between PHP 7 and PHP 8? So PHP 7 fast, PHP 8 even faster because of the JIT engine. Named argument PHP 7 no, PHP 8 yes. Match expression PHP 7 no, PHP 8 yes. Null safe operator PHP 7 no, PHP 8 yes. Attribute annotation PHP 7 no, PHP 8 yes. Union types PHP 7 string, PHP 8 no. Constructor promotion PHP 7 no, PHP 8 yes. str contains etc. PHP 7 no, PHP 8 yes. JIT compiler PHP 7 no, PHP 8 yes. Old functions PHP 7 still available, PHP 8 some removed or changed. So JIT stands for just in time compiler. So instead of running PHP code line by line like usual, JIT compiles parts of the code into machine level instructions just before they are used, making it easier, making it run faster, especially for a complex or repeated task. So here is a clearer view showing the timing comparison between PHP 7 and PHP 8 with JIT using the same is prime example. So test code. So let us suppose you have created a program for the prime number. Function is prime $num. If $num less than equal to 1, so return false. For $i equal to 2, $i less than equal to sqrt num $i plus plus. If $num ampersand $i triple equal to 0, return false, otherwise return true. So $start equal to micro time true, $count equal to 0. For $i equal to 1, $i is less than equal to 10,000 and $i plus plus. So if is prime $i, $count plus plus. So $end equal to micro time true, echo total prime number $count, echo time taken, send minus start seconds. So PHP timing results if we are using the PHP 7.4, so it will take approximately 1.8 second. PHP 8 with no JIT, it will take approximately 1.7 seconds. And PHP 8 with JIT, it will take only approximately 1.1 seconds. Okay, so the conclusion is JIT can improve performance, especially for CPU heavy loops or calculation. So not a big boost for typical website tasks like the rendering HTML, but great for the data processing. So steps to enable JIT. Find your php.ini file. opac.enable equal to 1. opac.enable CLI equal to 1. opac.jit buffer size equal to 100 M. opac.jit equal to 1255. So new features in PHP 8. So answer top new feature in PHP 8. So first is the JIT just in compiler. Second is the union types. Third is the named argument. Fourth is match expression. Fifth is null safe operators. Sixth, attributes. Seventh, constructor property promotion. Eighth, new string functions. Ninth, static return types. 10th, weak maps. 11th, improved error handling. So what are the some common Linux commands you use? So ls-l or pwd, which will print the current working directory, mkdir, rmfile.txt, rm-r old folder, delete a directory and its content. cp file1.txt, file2.txt, it will copy from file 1 to file 2. mv file.txt/tmp, move file from one place to another place. Touch new file text, create an empty file. Find home -name .log, find all .log files under home. State file.txt, display details information about file.txt. File viewing in editing, cat file.txt, display the content of file.txt. Less file.txt, view file.txt one page at a time. More file.txt, same as less but older version. Head -n10 file.txt, show the first 10 lines of text file.txt. Tail -n20 file.txt, show the last 20 lines of file.txt. Nano file.txt, open file.txt in the nano editor. Vim file.txt, open file.txt in the Vim editor. Permission and ownership. So chmod 755 script.sh, read, write, execute for owner, read, execute for others. Chown user -group file.txt, change owner and group of file.txt. ls-l, show file permission as a directory. System information, uname -a, show all system information. Top, show running process and system usage. Free -h, display memory usage in human readable format. df-h, show disk usage of all mountain file system. Uptime, show how long the system has been running. Who am I, print the current logger in user. Process and package management, PSAUX, display all running process. Kill 1 2 3 4, kill process with PID 1 2 3. Sudo apt update package. Sudo apt install nginx, install nginx. Sudo yum install httpd, install httpd. Sudo dnf install git or Fedora. Networking, ping google.php, ping Google to test network connectivity. Curl and then URL, fetch content from a website. wget URL f.zip, download file using wget. If config, show network interface info. IPA, show IP address and interface. Net state -tulnp, show active ports and listening processes. SSH user @192.168.1.10. Connect to the remote server via SSH. Compression and achieving, tar -cgf archive.tar.gj folder. So compress folder into the archive.tar.gj. tar -xzf archive.tar.gj, extract archive tar.gj. Zip archive, zip file1.txt, file2.txt. So create zip archive of 2 files. Unzip archive.zip, extract a zip file. So scripting the automation, cron tab -e, edit current users schedule cron jobs. Bash script.sh, execute a shell script. Alias l = ls-la, Create a shortcut alias for ls-la. Seventh question they ask me difference between the get fetch and get pull. Difference between git fetch and git pull. So first of all, git fetch downloads commits file and reference from a repository or a remote repository, but does not merge or modify your local branch. Use when you want to see the others have pushed without affecting your local works. Example, git fetch origin effect update origin main, but your local main stay unchanged. Git pull, what it does, combines git fetch plus git merge or git rebash depending on settings. It downloads changes and immediately merges them into your current branch. Use when you want to update your local branch with changes from the remote. Example, git pull origin main effect fetches and merge origin main into your current main. So summary, git fetch download change yes, update local branch no, risk of merge conflict no. Git pull download changes yes, update local branch yes, merges, and risk of merge conflict possible. So if you are working in a team or want to inspect changes first, use git fetch. So git diff origin main. So simply git fetch it won't update the local branch, while git pull will update the local branch by using the merge. How will you handle 3 bits at the same time technically? So handling 3 bits simultaneously on the government e-marketplace portal from a technical perspective involving ensuring synchronization, concurrency handling and data integrity. Here is how it can be handled technically. First, backend architecture to handle concurrent bits. A. Stateless microservices. Use stateless services to independently process each bit request. This makes it easier to scale and handle multiple bits simultaneously. B. Load balancer. Request bits from different vendors can be routed via load balancer like the NGINX or EWS ELB to backend servers for parallel processing. Second, database concurrency management. ACID transaction. Wrap each build submission in a database transaction to maintain atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability. B. Raw level locking. When multiple vendors are bidding on the same item, use raw level locking to prevent race condition. Example, start transaction. Select star from bits where item ID equal to 123 for update. Perform validation and insert new bid, commit. Queuing and asynchronous processing. If traffic is heavy, use message queues like the RabbitMQ, Kafka or SQS. Each bits go into a queue and it processed in order by background workers. Data validation and conflict detection. Validate timestamp to ensure all 3 bits are within the active bidding windows. Reject if the bid window is closed or a duplicate bid is detected. Fifth, test scenarios. Simulate the submission of 3 bits using concurrent test cases or tool like the JMeter Postman or even PHP threads curl calls to verify race condition and locking behavior. Example, flow of 3 bits. Vendor ABC submit bits at same time. Request reach backend through load balancer. Each request hits the bidding microservices. Microservices locks the item row in DB, validates and stores the bid. After successful bid storage, confirmation is sent. Final bid are ranked and timestamp for audit and transparency. What is difference between authentication and authorization? Authentication is the process of verifying the identity of a user. It checks who the user is. So steps of authentication. Login. A user provides their credentials. Example, username and password. Verification. The system checks if the provided credential match stored credential in a database or third-party authentication service. Token generation optional. Upon successful login, A system may generate a token, example JWT, to maintain the session or facilitate API access. Example, a user logs in using their username and password. The system verifies the credentials and grants access if the information is correct. Example, in Laravel, auth : attempt email request email, password request password. Authorization. Authorization is the process of determining what the user can do after they are authenticated. It controls the permission and access level assigned to the user. Steps of authorization: permission check. After authentication, the system checks if the authenticated user has permission to perform a specific action, view a page, modify a resource, etc. Roles and permission. In many system roles, example admin, editor, user, define which action are allowed. Permissions specify the specific action, example create, delete, edit, that a user can perform. Example, a user may be authenticated but they might only be authorized to view their own profile, not other users' profile. A manager role may allow for editing posts while a guest role may only allow viewing. Example in Laravel, if auth : user can edit post $post, so perform action. Authentication versus authorization summary. Authentication verify who the user is. Authorization determines what the user can do. Authentication identifies login credentials. Authorization permission roles abilities. Authentication ensures the user is who they claim to be. Authorization ensures the user has the right to access resources or perform actions. Authentication, user logging in with the username password. Authorization, user being assigned roles like the admin, editor, etc. So practical use: in a specific or in a typical web app, authentication would occur first, that is logging in, and authorization would follow to ensure that the authenticated user has the correct permissions to access specific resources. Question number 10. If you want to add new role, that is student, where will you make changes? So database, add the student role to role table on enum. User model, ensure role checks include students. Policies gates, define permission for the student role. Middleware if used, handle routing authorization by role. Front end, adjust UI to reflect new role. So give an example of authorization, so which I have already discussed in previous question. So what is the AJAX and what data do we pass in it? So AJAX stands for asynchronous JavaScript and XML. It is a technique used in web development to send and receive data from a server asynchronously without reloading the entire web page. So key feature of AJAX: it uses JavaScript to send HTTP request, works with the XML HTTP request or modern fetch API, allows dynamic update of web content, often used with JSON instead of XML now. So what data do we pass in AJAX? So you can pass different types of data with an AJAX request depending on your needs. So data type JSON. So most commonly used format: $AJAX URL API save, method post, data JSON, string file, that is name John age 25, count type application JSON, success function response, and console.log response. Second, data type form data, used when sending from input data. $AJAX URL submit form, method post, data username and email, then success function responses, console.log response. Third, data type form data object for files, used to upload file via AJAX. So where form data equal to new form data dot append profile image file 0 dot files 0. If $AJAX URL / upload, method post, data form data, process data false, count type false, success function response, console.log response. Fourth, query parameters, that is get method. $AJAX URL / search query equal to Apple. Method get success function data console.log data. Summary parameter and description. So URL server endpoint API save. Method type HTTP method get post put etc. Data sent to server JSON form field etc. Content type of data being sent application JSON. Success callback function or successful response. Error callback or request failure. Question number 13, they asked me, how do you perform a join across three tables? So to perform a join across three tables, you use SQL clause to combine data based on related columns between tables. So let's say we have three tables: student, which consists of ID name, course ID, ID name, enrollment ID, student and course ID. So you have three tables. We want to get student name with their enrollment course name. Okay. So SQL join query across three tables. Select student.name as student name, courses.name as course name from students. Okay, so students table, that is first one. Join enrollment on student ID equal to enrollments.student ID. So it joins the third table, enrollments on students ID, which is in the first table, equal to enrollments.student ID. Join courses, that is the second table, on enrollment.course ID equal to course.id. So how it works? Student base table, enrollment join using student.id equal to enrollment.student ID. Courses join using enrollment.course ID equal to courses.id. So note, always join on foreign key relationship. You can use inner join, left join, right join depending on the requirement. So usage as to give alias for readability. So this is a bigger query, so we can use the alias so it can be readable. It can be more readable. So example, select s.name as student name, c.name as course name from students s. Join enrollment e on s.id equal to e.student id. Join courses c on e.courses id equal to c.id. Question number 14, which is faster, inner join or left join? Inner join is generally faster than left join. Why? Inner join only returns matching rows. In filter, the result to only rows with matches in both tables. The database engine does less work because it doesn't need to check for and include unmatched rows. Second, left join returns all rows from the left table. It includes all rows from the left table even if there is no match in the right table. For unmatched row, it fills in nulls from the right table. The database must check every row from the left and null for not matching ones. So performance comparison, join type, result, processing load and speed. Inner join only matched row, so less work, so it is faster. Left join all left plus matched right, so more matched right, so processing load, more work, and so this is the slower. Example, inner join, select star from user O, inner join customer C on O.customer ID equal to C.id. Left join, select star from orders O, left join customer C on O.customer ID equal to C.id. Inner join returns only orders that have valid customers. Left join returns all orders even if there is no customer. Example, guest and checkout. So the conclusion is, use inner join if you only need matched data. It's faster and more efficient. Use left join only if you need unmatched data too. Example, for reports, null checks, etc. Question number 15, how do you migrate project from one server to another server? So first of all, backup code and database, transfer files, import DB, update config .env, install dependencies, set permissions, configure web server, test thoroughly, and update DNS if needed. 16th, difference between put and patch request. A patch request is used to partially update existing data on the server. Unlike put, it only changes the specific fields you send. So this was the second round of the interview in a company called Bigionic Technologies and Marketing Solution. The location of the company is Hyderabad, and the interview date was on May 28, 2025. So I will share more interview question with you. Till then, bye.